As you rightly said, I'm the head of, I'm Dr. Prince Osei, and the head of Herbal Medicine Unit at Some Government Hospital, and also the vice president for the Association of Medical Herbalists. Yeah, so basically that, yeah.
I have hosted a medical herbalist earlier this week,
All
I
right.
think on Monday,
Oh, great.
from the Happy Haven, Happy Health Haven. Young, amazing lady, and her knowledge on herbal medicine was also just amazing. And so, one question I asked her. So, for let's say for a herbal medicine unit in the hospital,
Yeah.
exactly what do you do? What's your role in a whole hospital like that?
Okay, so it's an alternative form of healthcare. So, with the patient charter, the patient has the right to alternative medicine. But for some years now, Ghana hasn't really been implementing that. And mostly when you talk about alternative medicine, the closest option that people choose is the herbal medicine. So for, I think, about 12 years ago, the government started a pilot study to find out how it will fit in our mainstream healthcare. Yeah, so there were some pilot facilities, but now it's mainstream. So when you go to the hospital or you go to any facility that has a herbal medicine unit, you have the option to choose whether to use herbal medicine or alternative medicine right at the OPD. So when you walk into any facility with any condition, you have the option to choose whether you want to use herbal medicine or alternative medicine. Also, a doctor seeing you, an orthodox doctor seeing you, could refer you to the herbal medicine unit. Looking at your condition, if the condition is such that herbal medicine is more potent in managing it, the orthodox doctor might refer you to see the herbal medicine unit. So basically, is primary health care. When we talk about primary health care, almost all disease condition falls under primary health care. So it's just an alternative. So years back, when you go to the hospital, you have no other option but to use orthodox medicine. But now things has changed in that perspective.
Nice one. I am particularly concerned about why we should look at alternative, sources of health. How important is this? I was talking to. I remember the doctor was telling me about the cases coming in, high blood pressure and all of that. Why is it important to begin to look at other alternative sources of medicines and health?
So I think my colleague said a lot on Monday, but what I'll look at is even with antibiotics. For now, there are serious research going on into using herbal medicine as a fight against antimicrobial resistance, because it's like a major issue when it comes to the medical field. People get symptoms of infections, just walk into the pharmacy, get themselves some antibiotics. Some don't even finish the course. So it makes antibiotic resistance quite on the rise. And herbal medicine, since it's a constituent, it contains so many things. The mechanism of action is not always straightforward. So it's very difficult for the microbes to predict how the herbal medicine will work. So for major conditions like typhoid, is one of the areas that orthodox medicine is actually not really helping because of the resistance. And herbal medicine is gradually taking over, because most people get the symptoms, get the antibiotics, don't finish the course. The next time they get the infections, the bacteria will be more stronger than they were. So it becomes difficult using the orthodox to treat. But herbal medicine really helps it well. And also with hypertension, diabetes, and all that, the side effects of these orthodox medicines. People are not comfortable with it. So we have people coming into the facility on orthodox medicine and want to switch to the herbal medicine.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you need an expert. Always we advocate that when you use herbal medicine, you have to visit an expert. And that is why the government started this initiative to incorporate herbal medicine services into the mainstream, so that people will have an alternative, or let me say a good alternative, because when you leave people to use herbal medicine, they will abuse it as the orthodox are being abused. People will start abusing herbal medicine. And you know, with herbal medicine, it's readily available. You just walk into your backyard, you get some herbs, you put them together and you take. But sometimes your preparation, you preparing it, the dosage that you have to take and all that may be an issue.
That's a big issue.
Yes, that's why you need an expert to help you in that regard. And you know, there are a lot of misconception. People claim herbal medicine causes liver, kidney diseases and all that. It all has to do with self-medications when it comes to herbal medicine. Even with orthodox medicine, if you self-medicate, if you don't take it as you've been prescribed, you may end up having serious organ damages. So the same applies to herbal medicine, though it's safe. When we look at something that we call the LD50, which is a pharmacological term, like the lethal dose that can cause harm. For herbal medicine, the doses are quite high. That's how you can take a whole bottle of herbal medicine and wouldn't have any symptoms immediately. But you overdose an orthodox medicine and you start having symptoms immediately. For the herbal medicine, it takes time before it causes any end damage organs and all that. But because we've been abusing it over time, because we've been taking higher dosages, we have people coming to the hospital and you give them the dosage and they'll go like, oh, herbal medicine there, I can just drink the whole bottle.
And doc, you find a lot of people, that's how they take herbal medicine. They open it and then straight.
And it's so bad, you know, because everything that has gone through clinical trials, that has gone through some form of testing and all that, we first, for herbal medicine medications, you first have to test for the safety. So this first test with rats, we call them the lab rats and all that. So we know the dosage, we calculate the dosage that can effectively treat the organism or whatever infection that you're treating. So if you overdose, though you get the herbal medicine working, but then the quantity that you've taken in excess will have their consequences on your liver and your kidneys. So in the effect, it's not the herbal medicine causing those conditions, but then our negligence, our personal abuse of it is what is causing that. So it's not really about the herbal medicine causing that. It's how we perceive herbal medicine as being safe. But anything that has the tendency of causing chemical change in your system could eventually cause effect in your system. So we don't have to tag it as totally safe. It's safe to a larger extent, but then it could also cause some dire consequences if not taken in the right dosages.
Remember, we're live on Facebook right now. That's Sunny 88.7. That's right, we're live. Sunny 88.7. You can join us for on this conversation. We're building up to our alternative health fair on the 26th and 27th of this month, right here at the premises of Sunny 88.7 FM. And that's why we're having this conversation. Doc, there are going to be a lot of vendors coming in. Right. There are going to be a lot of other alternative, health sources coming in. I am also concerned about maybe what's the best approach to approaching herbal medicine. I mean, for that person who walk in here on that day, there are going to be other herbs. There are going to be other products around. I mean, my household, as an Ashanti person, we've always had herbal medicine in the system. My grandmother used to do stuff for us. When you have malaria, she'll force you to drink sometimes a cup full of something she's done, and you take it and you're cool, you're good, and you go. But today, with all the perceptions and stuff by herbal medicine, and of course, because I also feel regulation in the herbal medicine, industry needs to be stronger, because you work in the markets and you hear a whole lot, and that is what scares the a person from. I don't know what, as an association, you're doing about this.
Regulation of herbal medicine is quite difficult, I must say, because it's been something that has been with us since time immemorial. So trying to put some strange measures around it becomes a bit difficult. But we have the Traditional and Alternative Medicine Council that are, in a way, helping to curb these quacks and all those in the system. But we have a lot of them still in the system. But what I always advise is that you, as an individual, you have the ultimate control of your health. We have the agencies, we have the FDA, we have the TMPC, as I mentioned earlier. doing their best, but you have the ultimate control. When you are buying any herbal medicine, you should ask yourself so many questions. Whether that herbal medicine has gone through testing. Fine, we used to prepare our own medications and all that way back. But that one, you were preparing it yourself. You were consuming it yourself. This time around, we have it in bottles and other things. You don't even know where the product is coming from. But we still assume that they are still safe. People will do a lot of things for money. So you have to be very concerned about your health. If you are preparing it in your house, if you have some neem tree in your house and you want to just take some and prepare, you know that you know what is in. You know how you go about it and all that to make sure that you don't consume any contaminants and all that. But people are doing a whole lot of things. We've seen some herbal medicine with some mixture of orthodox medicine in there and all that. We have what we call the herb-drug interaction. Those things being in there, you don't know what it can cause to your system. Even the orthodox medicine alone is an issue. How much more mixing it with herbal medicine? It can cause serious damages to your system. But the medicine you're going to buy out there, you don't know who manufactured it. You don't know who prepared it. So you should at least go through the right channel. At least look on the medication to make sure that we have an FDA number on the medication. So once there is an FDA number on the medication, it means there have been some testing going in and all that. It means at least it has gone through basic research to find out that it doesn't cause any effect in your system. And also the FDA has done their own test to make sure that it's safe. So at least you should look at that. And also you should know when you are visiting any facility, you should know the practitioner. We have some people who call themselves herbal doctors and all that, but they don't really know the mechanism of action of all these medications. So they will give you some herbs. They don't even know what that herb is going to do in your system. Sometimes they don't even know the pathophysiology of the condition. I heard one of such people claiming that women can even get prostate disorders. Imagine, women don't even have the prostate organ. How can they get prostate disorders? So if they don't know about the pathophysiology of these conditions, it makes it difficult for them to give any medication to treat it. They may know the herbs, they may know that this herb is for malaria and all that, but then the symptoms that you're experiencing, is it actually malaria? Is it what they think you are having? So all these things come into play when you want to purchase herbal medicine or when you want any herbal medicine service. The practitioner is one major area that you have to look at, because there are so many quacks in the system. Some are even licensed, but then they don't even renew. There are CPDs, continual professional development for these traditional practitioners and all that, but some don't even go. Right after getting the license, that is it.
That's it.
So you may see their licenses and all that. We pick Trotsky and all that. We see them selling the products in Trotsky, which is wrong. There is no law in Ghana that permits anyone to sell any herbal medicine in a public car. So if the first instance, if you see the person selling it in a car, that is wrong. FDA doesn't allow that. So FDA wouldn't register any medicine for you to go and sell in a car. So that is one caution that you have to take. If you buy any product in the car, you are putting yourself at risk, because most of those products are not registered, and it's not even the best way to get these products. Imagine you buy it, they'll tell you, when you come to this station, you'll find me and all that. Imagine you take it and you have any complication. Do you think he'll make himself available?
Not at all.
Yeah. But if the person is established, if the facility is established, you know that this is where the facility is. If I take the herbal medicine and I have any complication, I can just walk there and let them know that this is what is happening to me, and they may advise me on how to go about it. So the individual has a major role to play when it comes to the use of herbal medicine and the practice of it. Yeah, so that's what I can say about that.
Big one there for us, Doc. And one of the biggest areas we're looking at, if you're listening to us, remember we're live on Facebook right now. It's safe and effective herbal supplements for you as well. And so our team are vetting and going through a lot of processes. We have a lot of people giving us a call to want to be part of this fair, but then we're making sure that anything that comes on this compound it's gone through the right processes. It's what you need, and so there are going to be a lot of consultation services happening on the 26th and 27th. And of course, you also, as Doc say, you're the individual who is going to take this in yourself or your family, and so make sure anything, and it goes for alternative, it goes for mainstream medicines as well. I mean, you don't just go to the pharmacy and you read for yourself as well. If at least you get something in there. Doc, I thank you. I know you've got a busy day ahead. You're going on to another interview. We've got a busy day ahead as well. But then I'll let you give your final words. On herbal medicine. I know you have progressed quite. Leaps and bounds in the last, let's say, 15 years. Final words to people to look at it as an alternative source of health.
So I will congratulate you on your program. It's a good thing. We need some of these programs to enlighten people on the use of herbal medicine and all that. It's one of the areas that people really, there are so many myths about it, but then there are good ones too in there. So when you get some of these opportunities, it's quite good. And herbal medicine, as I said earlier, has advanced over the years. It's not like we used to take it some time ago. So I will advise that anyone who would want to use herbal medicine should seek it from the right place and also from the right practitioner. Yeah. So herbal medicine is safe and all that, but then it could also cause some dire consequences. So you need to get it from the right source. Yeah.
Isaac said that I really like the subject, but that our forefathers mostly had their prescriptions wrong, or even our qualified doctors always have it right. I mean, I'm sure Isaac is trying to say that, you know what, I mean, they also did some good stuff, but then I think technology is here to enhance.
As I mentioned earlier, our forefathers used to prepare them themselves.
Yeah.
So they had the knowledge that, let's say, neem tree could manage this. So they were preparing it themselves to take by themselves. But this is where one person is preparing for the whole country.
Exactly.
And now, because of how people are greedy for money and all that, you wouldn't know what someone is putting in the herbal medicine. So yes, herbal medicine is good. Our forefathers have been preparing it. If you are preparing this in the house, nobody has an issue with that. But then if you are purchasing it outside, that is where the issue comes in. Because that is where all these people want to potentiate their herbal medicine. So they add certain form of chemicals to it and all that to make sure that it works faster and all that. There have been so many instances where, especially aphrodisiacs, people add certain chemicals to it that when you take it instantly, you get the result. And all these things are causing problems. So our forefathers were not having those conditions that we are having now, because now things are changing. People are becoming more greedy and all that. And also, as I mentioned, our forefathers were preparing it for the consumption of the family. But now it's being prepared
on a mass, scale.
So things has changed. So we should look at that.
Isaac, my first encounter with herbal medicine, it put me off a little when I think at school, secondary school, or something, somebody had bought herbal medicine and he was taking it. But then at a point, something happened and he I think poured it on a spoon, some matter dropped. It's like it had gone bad, some slimy something was in it, a whole, matter. And so storage and the additives to keep them, give them longer shelf life, if it doesn't go through the right medical practices and laboratory tests and all of that, that is where it becomes a problem.
Definitely.
I'm sure it was a good medicine for malaria, but then the shelf life was simply not there.
Even sometimes the pharmacies, the storage conditions, the drugs shouldn't be exposed to the open sunlight. Even the bottles that you package them in, they all comes into play. So we shouldn't think that how herbal medicine was 20 years ago is the same as now. A lot of things has changed. So we shouldn't have that same perception. It's safe, definitely it's safe, but then there are other things that comes into place that could cause the herbal medicine to be to have side effects and all that.
Exactly. Big thanks, Doc, for coming.
Thank you too.
Alrighty, if you just joined us, we've been talking to Dr. Prince Osei. Dr. Prince Osei is the head herbal medicine unit at Nsawam Government Hospital. He's been our guest this morning. We're building up to 26th and 27th of this month, where we're going to have the Sunny FM, Sunny TV Alternative Health Fair. And Doc, you've been such an inspiration this morning. We wish you all the best for today. Thank you very much. We've got a packed day. We've got an up close segment coming up. Our friends from the Christianpreneur Summit is also joining us this morning. Stay with us. Don't forget, later on, Abigail will also join us as well. So, hey, stay with us. God is Jesus.